Howdy, y'all. I'm looking at CVS still. Let's get to it. So CVS, as you can see, has been going down. I've been watching it tick by tick, go all the way down, having a little bit of a nice bumping up off of 52.02. I have an order set at 52 even, and hopefully it's going to hit very soon. I think it will. That's why I've set it at 52 instead of anything higher. As y'all saw in the prior vlog, I bought at 52.25. Now we got even doji. Went down a little bit, but it was almost a even doji. So we're going to see where this goes. It bumped up slightly, as you can see in this transfer from minute to minute. The volume is definitely going up. The lower it goes, it's getting this volume, so I can tell it's hitting a resistance level, and it might be just because it's right off of 52. That's what I'm suspecting it is, rather than 52.02. It's just so much concentration here. Some folks are wanting to beat it at 52.02, going up to 52.04, and now I think they're trying to cut their bets right here, but I think it's just too much. We can see all this volume. It's not letting it go up any, and it goes up on the wicks, but the candle stays down. So it's very interesting. It's being put in a little bit of a squeeze here. I don't have a squeeze indicator up right now, but this is what I believe a squeeze is showing, that it's going to either bust out up or down. I'm regretting not having a squeeze indicator up right now, but it just looks like this squeeze is building up, and we can see this volume increasing. So it is going up slightly, but we can see that volume starting to go up too, and the candle's bumping down. And it's a waiting game. That's one thing about trading. When you're doing lots of trades, you got to do a lot of waiting. It's not all instant. It's not all what you see on here. You see a few minutes worth, but you haven't seen that. I've been sitting at this computer all day waiting for this, waiting for it to get to 52.25 up here, and then waiting for it to get down to 52 even. And I like to watch the trades go through. Yes, I can set the orders, but I like to see what it's doing. So right after this trade hits, do I need to put in more trades? Do I need to cancel the trade for some reason? Is it reacting poorly, even though it's going down? Right now, I'm still happy with it. I'm still seeing the squeeze. It looks like it's still following a trend. So if I were to put a line here, if it keeps going up, it's going to kind of break this trend, this resistance line. I'm going to see if it's going to bump down from it. We can see this angle from all these corners, or even if you want to put the wick in all the candles. What is it doing? You have to be watching that. So I'm thinking it's going to bump down and fill the order, because it's getting really jumpy right now. You can see that quick jumping back and forth. I think that's that squeeze. It's not just solid candles. We can see it's bumping up and down with these wicks. So it's just the waiting game and seeing what it's going to do. I could be wrong. It could be squeezing upwards, but I'm hoping it's going to do a quick squeeze down, then go up in order to sell the shares. So it's just looking a little indecisive. And if I had a squeeze indicator up, I believe after this candle, it'd really be showing the squeeze. It'd be indicating it a little bit on these candles. Once it hits this one, it'd be going up, and then on these, it'd be peaking. Now, even though it's not in correlation with the candles, I think it'd be looking a little bit like this, to where it's in the squeeze and it's getting out of it, but it's still squeezed. And I'll go over the squeeze indicator in a different vlog. That way, a little bit better scenario can be placed, or I can use this situation as an example. But right now, it's going down. 52.04, 52.03. It's being a little indecisive again. It's being a little finicky. Let's hit that 52 level. And now it's pausing. It's just so much of the bid and ask right here that it may look like the stock's not doing anything, but there could be thousands upon thousands of shares just in a gridlock between the bid and ask, that it can't go anywhere. And that's part of that squeeze. Once it busts through that squeeze, it can really do anything it wants. It can really go wild with one huge order. So it has not hit. It took out that little bit of a pattern. I'm going to auto zoom out. Y'all can see that it was heading down. So there is this support line down here, and it's stabilized a little bit more than it has anywhere else. A little bit there, it stabilized, but it couldn't hold. Stabilized a little bit here, couldn't hold. This I wouldn't call stabilizing. So nowhere else did it flatline in a stabilization pattern. And this downward trend was perfect. And I really like that it's hitting this, because once it hits 52, as long as it doesn't keep dropping, this is indicating it could be a solid support. So if there's a little bit of a hole in the bid and ask area to where it can drop down to 52 really quick, there's even this buffer zone above 52, which is really nice to see. That 52 could be a hard line for it to where it won't completely drop, but if it busts down too far, it could just free fall down. So it really depends on what you're looking at, what stock, what's happening during the day, and what's happening in that specific moment, because it can change moment to moment. It's not guaranteed that if you see this pattern, it's going to do this or going to do that. 5203. All right, it's trying. It's trying to drop down. That resistance line is squeezing it. 5202. Almost there. It is just about to hit 52. It is trying. That resistance is pressuring it down. The support is trying to push it up. It's in a little bit of a gridlock here, as you can see. It's testing it. It's testing it bad. Sometimes this goes on for an hour or more. It can go on for days trying to test a certain level, but when it gets to this point, it's always a lot of fun. I love the stress. I love the intensity of it, and you get to feel the stock for a little bit. You get to feel it's wanting to go up, it's wanting to go down. You can feel what that stock is wanting to do. You can feel the investor sentiment and what it's trying to push it towards, and whether the other orders will allow it to or not. And it's, for me, a lot of fun. I love this. This is an absolute blast. I love the stress of it. I know some people can't handle it. I know a lot of people won't sit here and watch it, because then they'll be stressed that it's going up to 5207, that it might not hit their order, and they're ready to lose it. But for me, I can watch this for hours. This is fun for me. This is why I do this, because I can sit here all day trying to figure this out, trying to look at what it's doing. And if it's not going my way, it doesn't faze me in the fact of not being able to do anything. Whereas other people, it will just have them sitting there forever, just angry and mad. It doesn't make me mad. I just move on to the next thing if it doesn't hit what I'm wanting it to. But this back and forth, I really get in tuned on this. I'm just staring, watching. I'm reading extra articles. But once it gets really close, I really like just watching, seeing how much it's fighting back and forth. Because the candles, it gives you a great insight as to what was going on in that moment. But when you watch it minute after minute, tick after tick, you really get a feel of how intense it can be when it's jumping back and forth, and then when it just stays there. It doesn't mean that there's no trades. There could be so much trading going on and so much of a gridlock, the stock has absolutely no room to move, none whatsoever. And when you see that, it's ready for a little squeeze. As you saw, it paused a little bit, and we have this big up and down. And that's kind of a telltale sign that you're in a squeeze. The joltiness, then a little bit of gridlock, almost there, 5202. We hit 52.2 again. So right on this line, we have a little bit of buffer above 52 even. And I like seeing that, because if it's a solid support and it touches it, it can keep from going below it. But that also could mean it could be a solid resistance line. Everyone sees 52 even, and they want to push above that. So it really depends on the stock. Almost there, 5201. It is almost there, y'all. I mean, it is right there. And sometimes it'll be within a penny, or it'll touch it. And if the order doesn't go through, like y'all saw earlier, sometimes it's just, when is it going to hit? Where is it? Booyah, right there. 52 even. Very happy about that. Nailed it. Right on the mark. Hasn't dropped below. I still think that's a solid support line. I'm thinking it's going to be heading up, and it's not going to be dropping below 52. If it does, I think it's going to retest it and jump back above it. But I will definitely keep you all posted if anything changes. any extra moves. I think I'm going to trade the quarters, but I might be trading the 10s. You all saw I've been trading the quarters earlier, 52.25 down to 52. Now, if it's continuing to go down, I might trade the 20 at 51.80, or I might do the 10 at 51.90. But right now, how I'm feeling, I don't think it's going to go below. And if it does, I'm going to do a big move at 51.75, trade the quarters. So, anywho's, I'm very ecstatic about that, very happy. Booyah, nailed it. I'm going to let my very best friend know, because that's what I do after every trade, because I'm a happy camper about it. I let my best friend know. It's always a lot of fun saying, booyah, got it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm just very happy about this. If there's any other trades, anything else coming up, I will definitely keep you all posted. I'm going to be watching this for a bit. I think it's just going to be heading up, so I don't think there's going to be more huge updates. But if anything big does happen, I will keep y'all in the loop and hopefully get some more trades in if it drops.